Hi, thanks for tuning in this week. I'm taking a look at the quick little passages in all four Gospels that talk about Jesus retreating into Galilee. So it seems like it seems like a strange thing. We were in John for so many different episodes, and we'll continue to be in John for just a little while longer. But this one thing is called out in all four Gospels that he retreated to Galilee. So I grabbed the passages from all four that talk about him leaving Judea and going back to Galilee. And so in all these passages, you get this picture of Jesus as having several things against him at this point. So number one, John, who is pointing people to Jesus and who is associated with him in some way, gets imprisoned because he calls out the king and Herodias, who's the king's niece, for having not only an incestuous relationship, but also that Herodias had been married to her other uncle, Philip, before she married Herod Antipas. And so Herod Antipas took Herodias, who had been Philip's wife, and Mosaic law condemns marrying your brother's wife unless the brother dies and there are no heirs to his fortune. But not only was Philip not dead, not only did he not have any other heirs, he was still alive. So it was a really big deal to the Jews at the time, and John called them out publicly. So the king and Herodias in particular didn't like that. Anyway, because of Jesus's association with John and his ministry, he was probably in a little bit of hot water just being nearby. Additionally, the Pharisees, who were also kind of they were a legal institution as well as a religious institution. They saw that Jesus's ministry was growing beyond John's and were getting anxious over that because they did not like the influence John had over their Jews, and they didn't want to see Jesus's ministry be successful in the same way. So they were out to discredit Jesus and would have loved to see him imprisoned similarly. And additionally, Jesus is from Galilee, which may have made him prejudged by a lot of people to be a sort of outlaw anyway. I go over in the blog post a few of the reasons why Galilee would have been seen as a place where outlaws come from, but there's a lot of trade there. There's a mixed population in Galilee at the time, and so a lot. It just was kind of a breeding ground for unrest and new and progressive political conversations and things like that. So anyhow, Jesus is feeling the pressure, and despite the fact that he wasn't necessarily afraid of the things that might have happened to him throughout the course of his ministry, certainly at this time, it wasn't time for him to die or be imprisoned yet. And he knew that he had a lot to do before that time. So he certainly would have made efforts not to go to jail or to be falsely accused or imprisoned at that time. So he retreated to Galilee. Anyway, take a look, and I hope you like this one.